Morning guys, welcome back to my channel. I haven't been very active on YouTube again. We recently moved house a couple of months ago. We moved into a new house. So in the previous house, my orchids really didn't do well. The house was very cold. There was not a lot of natural light. There was lots of big houses all around which blocked all the sun. So the sun hardly ever got to the house. The house was cold. It was just horrible, and my orchids hated it. A lot of them died. A lot of them are still alive, but were badly set back. So this home is much nicer. It's warmer. There's a huge door here which receives a lot of sun where I've got my orchids in front of. And slowly but surely I'm getting back into things. So I would like to just quickly do an update on what everybody's doing. I've started buying new orchids again because I lost a lot of my collection. So yeah, this is just what's happening in my little grow space. So this little girl, I bought her in April at an orchid show. She just had a little flower spike with buds on. I had no idea what the flowers looked like. I was intending to go and buy a Miltoniopsis, but when I got there, I got cold feet and just decided not to. So I got this one instead, and I am just in love with these flowers. The lighting is really bad. We had a huge storm yesterday, so it's very dark and gloomy outside. It's still raining, so I'm sorry for the bad lighting. But yeah, the flowers have been open for about a month. They're starting to fade, so I just wanted to get it on camera before the flowers start dying off. All the spots. Oh, I just love spots. If an orchid has spots, I can't really resist it. So this is her. Let me grab her tag for you. I don't know. All the names are being changed. I have no idea what this is. I don't know. I'm not going to try and say it, but that's her name. I will repot it as soon as the flowers are done. The bulbs are really healthy looking. She's a great looking plant. I love her. So next up I've got these Maxillaria tenifolias. This was all one plant, and I had it in semi-hydro in the previous house, and they really did terrible. They hated the semi-hydro. The bulbs all shriveled. They were paper thin. So when we moved here, I put the whole plant into a pot of moss, put it outside in the sun. I left it there for about 2 months and it just did nothing. So I thought, this plant is probably going to die if I just leave it. So let me try and at least get one cutting from it that could at least grow into something. So I cut off pieces of the plant. Most of them have got an old bulb and a new growth. And what I did is I just took the cutting, pulled the sheaths off the bottom and put it in some sphagnum moss, and I must say I'm really impressed. There were tiny little, probably 5mm long root nubbins underneath the sheaths, but they've obviously just absorbed the water, and look how nice and plump these bulbs are. And this was literally a month ago, but this is just one cutting with a couple of bulbs on. This is the one with the most bulbs on, but you can see at the bottom here there is a little something there, and I'm wondering if that could be a flower spike. If it is, it will be the first flower from this girl in 3 years, so that would be great. When I took the cuttings, this one, I put it into the moss on the day I did the cuttings, obviously, and by the next day these bulbs had plumped up like this. One night and these bulbs had plumped up. So I'm sure that when it starts getting a bit warmer, these guys are going to do great. This is also a relatively new purchase. She's huge. Look at her. She's amazing. So I bought her in flower probably about a month ago at a plant fair. It's a Bretonia, I don't know, Charles M. Finch. So it's definitely got some brassica in it. She's got those typical brassica spidery flowers in a light pink with more spots, so we love those. This new growth is not doing anything, but after she flowered I did repot her. There's a very small little new growth pushing out there, so I'm sure this one will start growing again soon, and then we'll get some more roots and she's going to be fine. It's beautiful. Then on this side I have a Sherry baby. I've had this one for over a year. This bulb grew in my care. She was in semi-hydro. She didn't really mind it. She did quite well. But when I looked at the size of the new growth, I really thought she could do better. This is the old one. You can see it's bigger. So when we moved here, I repotted her into a mix of bark. She's got a lot of lake beads in there just for air. And I've just topped off the top of the moss with stones because the algae was getting a bit crazy. But she has lovely roots. She's growing really well, and I'm hoping to still get a spike. I'm checking every day. There's nothing yet, but I'm expecting it soon. This one is a Sideria japonica. She's also a relatively new purchase. I've had her for about a month. She was in bloom, but the flowers were already starting to fade when I received her. So she's growing. She's got some new roots coming out. So she's doing fine. This is a Sideria japonica cross. Sideria japonica cross Vandopsis parishii. She's really beautiful. She hasn't flowered since I bought her. I bought her in flower probably two and a half years ago. I think that other house was just too cold for these guys. She's eventually starting to do stuff now that we're here. She's getting these lovely new roots. There's roots in the pot. She's growing really nicely. She's receiving sun when it's sunny. So she's doing really great. I'm really sure this one is going to flower in summer. Right, this one is a little Orangus seedling. I had her in semi-hydro as well. She hated it. She lost all her roots. She lost a lot of her leaves. So when we moved here, I made this little basket. Yes, I made the basket. And I put her in there. There's a few pieces of tiny lava rock and a bit of sphagnum moss, but her roots are starting to grow. Look at that little guy clinging onto the wood there. So she's happy. Much more happy than in semi-hydro. This one is, if you had seen my previous videos, I did the video about the little growth on the orchid that I thought was dead. So this is her. She's still doing really well. This was the first growth that she pushed out. And then she grew this one, which is way bigger. Well, the leaf is bigger anyway. They're tiny little fat bulbs at the bottom there. It's been it's stalled for the last couple of weeks, so I think it's just having a little rest, but I'm expecting a new growth to come out fairly soon. And she's got lovely long roots growing into the moss. So yeah, when you think an orchid is dead, don't always be so quick to throw it away because this guy was lying on the floor in a pot just waiting to be thrown away, and I just never did it. And after a couple of months she started growing again, so that's awesome. This is an Iwanagara. She's got the most beautiful little orange flower. I had her in semi-hydro as well, same story, grew very slowly. She really didn't like it, so when we moved here I put her into a mix of moss and laker. I've just topped the top of the moss with the beads because the algae is a bit of a problem, but she's got a lovely growth. She's got beautiful roots going down into the pot. So, and like I said, it's well, I'm not sure if I did say, but it's winter here, so everything is growing slower than normal, and I'm really happy with her progress. Okay, then down here, this is a new purchase. I've had it for a couple of months now. It's a mini cattleya. It's quite a mix. Let me grab the tag for you. So that's the mix, a whole lot of plants in there, but you can see this was the growth that it had. Very purple, obviously it was standing in the sun, and that color hasn't changed. This was there was a tiny little new growth when I received it, and it's grown now. It's bigger than the previous growth, and there is another little growth here. So it's got beautiful little peachy colored flowers, so I'd love to see it in bloom. I'm not sure if it has bloomed before. I see there is something, oopsie, in the middle there. I'm not sure if that was a spike, you know, from before or not, but yeah, we'll see what happens. She's really cute. And then also moss and laker. I let it dry out totally between waterings, and then I don't saturate the moss. I just put a little bit with a little dropper, just a little bit of water, just to moisten the moss. So this is another one that I've had for a good couple of years. In the old house, she was just not growing well. She was infested with scale. We moved here. I put her into some moss with laker, and just look at these roots that are growing. They look so amazing. Look at that. So she's doing really well. Oh, let's get the name for you. Let's have a look. It is here somewhere. There we go. Rinco Brassivola Chief Cindy. So I'm really happy with the way this one is going. This one is also another one that was in the semi-hydro, another one that didn't like it, and same story. Repotted, and she's growing well. You can see she's getting some new roots there. So I'm really happy with that. And this is that beautiful orange cattleya with the most gorgeous lip. Can't wait for this one to be blooming size. Then this is a little twinkle that I bought about 3 months ago. The flowers from this growth have already dropped off, and she's getting a new little growth at the bottom there. These flowers over here are plumping up, so they're going to start opening soon. So she's doing good. Another one that's been transferred from semi-hydro. She's not doing too much at the moment, but I'm expecting her to grow. I think she's taking a bit of a break at the moment. This is an Encyclia Cadidera. Also had her in semi-hydro. Well, I first put her into moss. The roots started growing, and then I thought, okay, I'll put it into semi-hydro. Then the roots died, and now I've put it back into moss, but she's got roots in the pot. There we go, but they don't look so great. So the new growth is really small, but at least it's not wrinkly, and there is a new little something growing there. So no more semi-hydro for her. I'm sure it will be fine. It's just going to take some time to recover. This is one of my newest purchases. It's a little seedling. It's Brassavola amethyst, Brassocatlia amethyst. She has beautiful purple flowers, but in that Brassavola shape. So it's a little seedling. I've got it in a very airy mix. It was mounted. I don't do mounted orchids, so put it in a very airy mix. And I'm also just watering it when this media is totally dry. Then this is one of my seriously recovering orchids. So about a year ago we got a little puppy, and he managed to get hold of this and chewed it to smithereens. And I had to cut most of the canes off. They were very badly bitten, but she's recovering. She grew this growth. I put it into semi-hydro. The roots grew about a couple of centimeters and then just stopped. Then I put it outside. It got blown off the shelf a couple of times. So now I've put it here. I'm not moving it. I'm not touching it. I'm watering it only when it really needs to be watered. There's another new growth here. So I'm hoping that this poor guy pulls through. He's really had a tough life the last while, but she's going to be fine. This is a bulb of Philum, Elizabeth Ann Buckleberry. I got her a couple of months ago, and she had a flower, really pretty, but now she's not really doing anything, so just on a bit of a break. So we'll see what happens with her. This is just a little cutting that fell off of a plant when I was repotting it. I have no idea what it even is. I just put it in here, and we'll see if it grows. This is another one that was in semi-hydro, and I've moved it out into the normal potting mixture, and she's doing so much better, you guys. Look at those roots. So she's finally recovering, and I've lost her tag. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely a Brassavola hybrid, probably another Brassocatlia. I really love them, so she's doing good. This one is another Encyclia, also one that's really struggled in the previous house. She's not really doing anything, but she's not deteriorating either, so I'll just leave her and hopefully she will recover. It's a it's the cochleata, Encyclia cochleata. So we'll see what happens with her. This is another mini cachlea. There's the name. I'm not going to even try and attempt to say it, but yeah, it's not the greatest. I didn't receive this one in very good health. You can see these leaves are really wrinkly. She pushed out a little tiny new growth, but you can see that she's starting to grow some roots, so I'm happy with that. Also another one that I leave to dry out totally before I water it again. That's that one. This is another piece of the cachlea that the puppy got hold of. This back cane is totally dry, but I'm leaving it on there because it's a nice strong cane just to anchor the plant. This is a new growth that grew. It's quite big, but this is still in only lacquer beads. I need to get it out of there because the roots just don't do well, especially for a recovering plant. So she's going to come out of there, and hopefully she'll push out a new growth soon, and then it will be fine. Then I have a few little Tolumnias. This is a new one. This is the most recent one, and I actually didn't notice that it had a flower spike. These guys come mounted as well, so I've put them into these net pots. The moss dries out very, very quickly. Within a day the moss is dry. But there's going to be some flowers from here soon, so that's exciting. Then I've got these two guys down here. This one is one that I've had for a couple of years. So it's quite a bushy Tolumnia. And then this is also a relatively new one. I lost all the others that I bought, so I'd like to get a few more when I purchase, and I just buy one little Tolumnia or so just to get my collection going again. And then look at this beautiful girl. I love these Renanthara little flowers. They are just too beautiful. Small little flower. This is a Renanthara cross, Renatunda Sunrise. But she's lovely. She's been in bloom for over a month. The flowers are starting to fade a little bit, so I'm sure they will fall pretty soon, but they're too cute. Then I've got this little girl. She's another Phalaenopsis cross. She's got beautiful flowers. I had it in semi-hydro as well, and I think all but one root died. The whole plant became so limp. So I've transferred her also into some moss, and she's pushing out some lovely new roots. Inside the pot she's also growing a few roots there, so she's doing well. She's losing this bottom leaf, but that's nothing to worry about. It's only the one, and it is the oldest one, so that's fine. So I'm really happy with her. She's gonna be fine. Then I've got this beautiful girl that I bought fairly recently, obviously in spike. Well, she was in full bloom when I received her. She had she had 4 flower spikes. I've cut the one off because those flowers were dying. This is so pretty, you guys, and it smells florally. It's so lovely. So this is a Miltonidium Bartley Swartz. I totally butchered that. But I've had the red variety before. This is the white variety. And they are very easy orchids to grow. I killed the other one, but this one will be fine. I also have all my Vandas inside. Like I said, we had a huge storm yesterday, so I moved everyone in just to get them out of the wind. And I had them outside during the day and the night, and look at the cold damage that one got. So I've started bringing them in at night because it is quite cold at night. During the day we have nice temperatures for them, but I think the night time is definitely too cold for them to be outside. So I'm leaving them inside today because the weather is really gloomy, chilly. So they're just gonna stay inside today. Okay guys, well, I do have a few more orchids, but this video is getting a little bit long, so I'll cut it short for here, and I'll try and do some more videos just to journal everything, because I'd like to keep track of their progress and all that sort of thing. So have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.